losing friends is hard. My favourite of Alex's habits, and his habits, one easy to miss if not looking out for it, is his tendency for him to loudly exhale through his nose. To a degree to which one can judge his mood or get a clear answer from him. To clarify, if you ask him a question and the answer is no, he is more likely to tilt his head and audibly exhale through his nose as to say, "No, I don't want to go to the pub." No, I've never considered watching a film on my own and subsequently keeping all thought for myself afterwards. It's quite an endearing feature, however. It's like having a piston or a bicycle pump for a friend. Lastly, by popular demand, I've been asked to mention Alex's highlight reel during the post-graduation holiday in Malia. One may think it's a... It's not, it's Alex. One may think it's a story involving how he saved the family from drifting out to sea, whilst at the same time making tight-fitting speedos and the breaststroke look cool. And how he still had time for a cold beer with the lads afterwards. No, I'm afraid it's far simpler than that. Alex's highlight reel consists of him walking back from the hotel early in the morning after a few too many beers, with his upper body leaning forward at a constant 45-degree angle, trying with all his concentration and skill to avoid falling over face first into the road. Because, and I quote, "My body couldn't keep up with my head." Unless a man such as me could not even attempt to recreate this ridiculous scene. So I'll just wait until later in the evening when he's coming back. However, all the before-mentioned flaws, funny traits, or whatever you want to call them, bar of course the inability to coordinate his speed of his head and body, I now fully regard as his strengths and reasons why we are friends. To me and countless others, Alex is a naturally caring, kind, optimistic and genuine person. His seemingly tear-inducing habit to analyse and discuss films was, in retrospect, the beginnings of his perfect suitability to becoming a teacher. They urged to explain and enlighten those around him. And his substitution of saying no, with the act of exhaling through his nose, is consistent with a person who doesn't want to let his friends down, but rather accommodate their needs and wishes. The opposite, however, is true if the question is, "Alex, do you want to watch a DVD with us?" Looking back, it is clear that this behaviour, and I'm sure all of you would agree, is due to his generous and friendly personality. I realised very quickly that he has the makings of a lifelong friend. Yes, anyone could ask for. Here we go. It is of course traditional to briefly mention how the newly wedded couple met. For this I had to look elsewhere and ask around. I looked to the internet for inspiration, but couldn't find anything about a couple called Alex and Katy. That's my best guy. Who better to ask then than the lovely Katy herself, who informed me of the following. Alex and Katy first met at St Margaret's Primary School at the tender age of 7, which in fact was the primary school attached to the church, which the ceremony took place today. From an early age, Alex was already a figure of authority, considering his house captain was barely out of nappies. I've subsequently been told, however, that he had a bladder problem, which makes this fact less impressive. However, let's say that with great power comes great responsibility, or at the very best a shiny badge that says house captain on it. But for an equally young Katy at the other end of the playground, it simply made Alex more irresistible. Poetic license a bit. Now, fast forward to when Alex was 12. He had bravely enlisted in the local army cadet force, displaying an ironclad, unwavering commitment to meeting every second Saturday of the month, if it didn't clash with anything else. By now, he had become an officer and a gentleman, or at least someone who hung around with officers and indirectly knew some gentlemen. The allure of his schoolboy and his physical peak, not afraid to kill a paper target without a second thought, for his own safety and, more importantly, with access to a uniform every 4 weeks, simply became too much However, it may surprise you that Alex and Katy weren't in fact an item at this time. In Katy's words, it took him 11 years to woo her. The act of wooing, of course, not having been popular since the early 50s. Hence it taking so long to go over. As time went by, the attraction became stronger until Alex, around the age of 16, split up with his then girlfriend and got together with Katy a mere 3 weeks later. It was the right thing to do, considering that they both did the same A-levels and were both deputy head boy and girl, or head. Was it deputy? Yeah.
Oh.
Yep, they were that annoying couple. But to them, it simply meant they could spend more time with each other. The best fact that I plucked from what I was told was after a brief split from Alex, following her return from Disney in the US, Katy used the old chestnut of sending Alex a blank text message to say hiya without actually saying hiya. He eagerly took the date, and here we are today celebrating their wedding day. What concerns me though is that I've accidentally sent Alex a blank message before, and they always followed by random late night calls from him. Although nothing was said, but I knew it was him. He was exhaling loudly. Now to conclude, as I can see column supply of crayons and attention span. Alex and Katy, you're both wonderful people, and like everyone here, I'm honoured to help you celebrate your lovely day, and of course be your friend. I don't know much about marriage, so I'd like to leave you with some borrowed advice nonetheless. After searching around, I found some insightful quotes on the subject of love and marriage. To begin with, Mark Twain once said, "After all these years, I see that I was mistaken about Eve in the beginning. It is better to live outside the garden than inside it without her." And who can forget that's an input? When they sang, "Relight my fire, for love is my own desire. Relight my fire, because I need Eve."
Beautiful.
Lastly, and arguing most poignantly, Star Wars' very own Chewbacca, the surprise expert on the topic of marriage,
Do it.
bestowed upon us the following wisdom when he said, Now I think what she was trying to tell us, that one ought to accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. I think we can all take away something from that.
That's exactly what he meant.
So now, all that's left for me to do is invite you to kindly join me in raising your glasses to the happy couple, the bride and groom, Alex and Katy. To love, to laughter, to a happy ever after. Alex and Katy.
Alex and Katy.
Thanks, man.